So okay, welcome back to me, welcome back to Thailand. True Blue Thai here from Thailand. I hope you're doing well. It is one at it here in Thailand, which is Sunday, and and it's another sunny day out there. But it's still a bit of a winter's day for me, still, even though it's about 30 degrees. Today, for instance, 29-30 degrees. The humidity, that heat, for instance, where from a tropical country, is just not there, hasn't been there for a couple of weeks. And so I'm really still feeling cold. So yeah, and I've taken off my Christmas jumper, and I've slept in a duvet I found just today, for instance, and it was still cold. Yeah, so hopefully, for instance, I believe the sun's coming back, the heat's coming back next week, but we'll see. Anyway, so I hope you're doing well. It's one at it, it's Sunday, and we'll do for a Man City review. I don't know about yourself, etc. For instance, in the Lao Khao, the rice whiskey here in Thailand, just not doing it for me at the moment, etc. Because that's just not. Oh my god, I'm going to be an alcoholic before. No, I'm not. What's it called? I'm just. Oh, what can you say about that? What can you say about that? You know, and honestly, for instance. Again, for instance, I've listened to South Stand, I've listened to LB, I was listening to Typical City, I've listened to New York Gok, I was listening to other city content creators before I come and talk to you. And so for instance, I've also listened to myself, and the most important thing, we got the win. That was the most important. These are the goods and the bads. So the goods is the fact that we got the win. The goods is the fact that Phil Foden scored twice, and he's now the second highest goal scorer in the Premier League for Man City, rather than a guy from Burnley. The good is the fact that, for instance, Josh Guardiola also scored, and Erling Haaland didn't. So, for instance, it was a good thing, a bad thing, but at least no, it was probably a bad thing really, because we scored in 3 games. But again, at least we're not Haaland FC, as it were. To go 2-0 up, to be 1-0 up after 1 minute, etc., or 2 minutes, whatever you want to call it, and to be to the game to get knocked back by 2-2 when you were so controlling in the first half, and then to be knocked back by 2-2, but by up to the 90th minute, and you needed extra time to get you over the line. Oh Christ! And the contrast between the halves was just so different. And it is a worry. It is a worry, and I think it's all down to if you play. I think last season it was about playing a high line, and you can easily get through Man City on a high line. This season it seems to be about when teams press us, and when they seem to press us and they go at us, we seem to lose our shape. I think we're missing Rodri. I do believe we're missing Rodri in midfield. We need that centre in the midfield. We need that control in midfield, etc., which we lose a lot. And for instance, and even though Nicolas Gonzalez is doing an amazing job, and also did a half-decent job yesterday, playing in every game at the moment, and he'll probably play against Fulham. I think, for instance, it's a bit telling, etc., about he needs, for instance, I don't know, maybe support, etc. Bernardo is everywhere, but is he doing enough? Because again, for instance, I can't believe how quickly, for instance, it was so easy for them to play through us. It was so easy for them to, when we had even when we were high class, we were lackadaisical on the ball when we were playing it around our area. For instance, my God, I was having kittens. I just kept saying, get rid of it. And Haaland was isolated by himself on his own in the second half, etc. First half was a totally different game, etc. And they set back. We scored the goals. For instance, we looked like we could have a half a dozen. Going into second half, they brought in Calvert-Lewin and another player, for instance, in the Mitchell or whatever, and former City graduate, and then only to find out, for instance, and ended up getting 2-2. I don't think we should have lost. I don't think so. No, I don't think. Definitely compared the halves, etc. So there's going to be a lot of media who are very happy, and the Leeds fans are probably saying, "Well, we should have won that game." Well, I don't think you did enough. Created too many chances, even though you had a lot more of the ball, etc. in the second half. So, but I do believe, for instance, we have an issue with teams who push against us, physical teams who push against us. For instance, who harass us for the ball. I think we seem to have an issue there. We don't seem to be know what to do with it. And with the injury to Donna, to which this week the press are going to have a field day on that one. Absolutely, they're going to mainstream Southern-based biased media. They're going to have an absolute woke media. For instance, they're going to absolutely have Man City, Donnarumma going down. With Man City having a team talk. If I have a penny for every time I've seen another team do that, when a player goes down and suddenly they go and have a great team talk and have a drink and drinks break, etc., and they hold the ball up. I remember when it was 2-2, Leeds, a player went down with because he got whacked in the face by Phil Foden, goes down, oh my head, and they wasted a good few minutes. So I'm sorry, Man City are not the only team to do it. And as Pep Guardiola said in his press conference, if we did do it, for instance, if the Premier League, the Premier League, I'm sure, will fine us. As he I think we've got a bit of a thingy with the issue with the Premier League, because again they fine me 5 seconds if the players come out after 5 seconds, 5 seconds late. So I have no doubts about that, but again, it's the fact that they changed their shape, we lost our shape, and for instance, we were looking to get away with one. I think overall, in the state of play and state of heart, we deserve to win the game with the amount of chances we had compared to the amount of chances they had. So, but let's go and have a look at the stats and chances, etc., and find out if we can delve in a bit more about it. But let's just start with the lineups. So we started off with Donnarumma in goal, Nunes, Guardiola, Diaz, Guardiola, O'Reilly, Nico, Bernardo, Mamouche, Reinders, Cherki. Mamouche came on the 89th minute again, crazy, and a header in the first minute when he first came on. Cherki 75th minute, 75th minute, should have commented earlier. Foden, Doku, Stones came on the 96th minute, agree with that one. Haaland as well. Subs, not used, Trafford, Agnori, Aki, Agnori, Savinio, Cousinov and Lewis. So for instance, 53,000 or 52,500 turned up. Let's have a quick look at the match stats. So have a quick look. So see, at 62% possession, still have more possession. To Leeds 38. 3 shots off target each. 9 shots on target for Man City and 4 for Leeds. So again, for instance, a draw would have been a loss, would have been a robbery really more than else. 8 corners to Man City. We actually scored from a corner. 17 corners, only 1 for them. 18 fouls. 11 fouls. I thought the referee, you put under the referee, he was a bad referee today. I really do. I do think he was a bad referee. I thought, for instance, he was very, very quick with the whistle. I thought, for instance, especially when the Leeds player went down, he never let the game flow in the way that I would want to see it to. And again, for instance, the VAR decision was just ridiculous, how long that took, and the stupid little cartoons. For instance, 3 minutes or so was to go for the VAR decision was pathetic. But terrible. So let's have a quick look at let's have a quick review of the game. Couldn't have started off better for City. It just took a minute to take the lead, and a well worked goal, which that would delighted Pep Guardiola. Matheus Nunes collected the ball, played it inside Bernardo Silva, and his threat pass back to Nunes. So the Portuguese cross perfectly to Phil Foden to volley home from the underside of the crossbar, just 6 yards out. Great goal, great underside, great very difficult technique, the way he did it, and for instance, to get over the ball that way, and so for instance, great first goal. Not much happened in the way of points again until the 25th minute when the Blues went 2-0 up. Foden corner found a Nico O'Reilly, and it dropped invitingly for Josko Guardiola, who prodded home the goal for a couple of yards. They're moaning about the foul on the goalkeeper. Well, shock. Bernardo Silva causing a habit. Was he offside? Then found out after 3.5 minutes on VAR. No, he wasn't. And then VAR check, possibly for Bernardo Silva's offside, was cleared. Tiana Reinders and Nico went close, adding a third, but no further scoring before the break, etc. It should have been. The visitors made 2 attacking substitutions to start the second half, and one of them, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, capitalised on the newest mid-judgment to poke the ball at home. Nunes has been brilliant for us. It really has been in the right. He's not a natural left, defender. But he's actually picked up the job very well. At this case, etc. For instance, some of his where a defender would just hoof it. He basically tried to play it, and unfortunately tried to play out from the and play directly to a Leeds player, for instance, and then for instance when the ball came in and Guardiola got the ball later, he took the ball from Guardiola and then played it where rather than kicking it, just hoofing it out, he passed it to, basically he played it closely to Calvert-Lewin and put it in the back of the net. So we could jump up and down the Nunes, etc. But he has played well. He did get the first assist. So again, and he has played well in the past, etc. But again, if we don't put ourselves in those positions, then we wouldn't get caught. And I think, for instance, that's the problem: is that we can blame Nunes and blaming him, but I think the whole thing is got the fact that why would we be put in that particular? Why was he put in that particular situation in the first place? And I think, for instance, again, it comes down to the system, the passing, the pressing of Leeds, etc. For instance, and how we didn't cope. We lost our shape. The visitors made it 2 attacking. The Blues struggled to find any kind of rhythm and rarely threatened as the half wore on. In the 68th minute, they were pushed again against Calvert-Lewin, was felled by Guardiola, missed-time challenge, and the penalty was awarded. Yeah, I thought originally it wasn't a penalty, but when I looked again, I thought it was a penalty. It's got to be a penalty. Lucas Milic then ex-City spotted the goal. Spoke it was saved by Donna, but the rebound fell back at City. Ex-City player tapped it home. It was a turnaround nobody had seen coming, and looked very much like 2 points drop, given the Leeds lowly position. Yeah, it would have been shocking. I would have said that that's the title's over, especially if Arsenal would have won. So, but 10 minutes added on time. Just announced Foden stole the headlines with a terrific low drive from 12 yards and dramatic seal a 3-2 win. And the thing is, the person who passed into him was Ryan Cherki. Now, if Ryan Cherki would have come on a bit earlier, or maybe he was started over Reinders, you never know. So, the star man, easy choice, Phil Foden. I think New York Gok had Nico Gonzalez. The brightest spark in the pitch, finding the net, but overall it was not a stellar City performance by any means, but the result was the most important aspect of this game. The Blues are still work in progress at times and a little rough around the edges. Yes, say you Lee. Retaining possession is not easy once again, with Pep Guardiola being very concerned about the amount of times we gave the ball away against Leeds, not mentioning the 2 goals Leeds we let slip on our home style. But getting back into winning mode was vital after 2 defeats. Pep's reaction. The game was not a perfect place in the first half, but it should never be over the 4 chances we didn't concede. And after a brilliant Daniel change, the system, like Leverkusen, did a 5-3-2, and we conceded a goal we gave away in the first minutes in the second half. The build-up was completely different, and the shape takes influence away in the way you play. Football is emotion, and in that moment we conceded a second. We made a step. We made a step up and reacted very well. Omar and Cherki came on, and we got more players in the box there, but too late. In the last minutes, we had to put the ball quickly into the box because the process didn't exist. Being with fullbacks and the wingers, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. The quality of Phil again as a player, as a talent. Phil Foden's reaction, it was up there as the wildest game. We had full control in the first half. They changed the system in the second half when we couldn't get going. It was frustrating in the half, but when there was on a shot, break, the manager got us together, and we had a short break. The manager got together and adapted their formation. As we adapted their formation, we had a few chances, and finally I found a bit of space and found the bottom of the net. There's still things we can improve. We're delighted with the result. The race is never straightforward. There was always going to be ups and downs wherever you can get, where you can't seem to get gotten what we had. The belief is togetherness and getting through at the end. Hopefully that the case today is that we can kick on from here, but you never know what to expect. I was so hungry to play and prove myself. I could still score goals. I missed a few chances against Newcastle, but wanted to put that right. One we should have had a penalty, mate. What it means, Man City will move up second, 4 points behind Arsenal, who take on Chelsea today. It means that Blues are currently in top position, top goal scorers in the Premier League, 27 goals scored so far. We play Fulham on Tuesday, Wednesday morning for me, 2:45 a.m. Also at Craven Cottage, 7:30 kick-off UK time, and then we go to Sunderland on next week. So again, what we can surmise, no easy games in the Premier League. We didn't. They changed their formation. We couldn't cope with their new formation. For instance, it's a tough one. It really is. It's doesn't. I was not happy. What's it called? I was so happy to see the 10 minutes. I was naffed off about the. I was hoping to have a nice, easy game. Went 2-0 up, etc. I was feeling good myself. We needed a good win after the Leverkusen debacle and losing to Newcastle and that debacle. So, for instance, we just made it hard. Again, we got to be grateful because we did win. We are back into winning ways. Phil Foden has got a couple of goals, so we're not Haaland FC or we haven't depending on a Berlin striker. But again, there's issues. Tiana Reinders, etc., comes to focus a lot of City friends, people. I thought he tries hard. There's a player in him. I think he will do well at City, but I think maybe Cherki was probably the better option. I don't know. But I think more control in the midfield. But he does try. So I'm not going to rip him over the coals. We are talking about 2 players in the January transfer window who are getting stronger now, which is Adam Johnson from North Forest, and which is it's unlikely we'll get him. Who knows? It's going to cost a lot of money. And for instance, Semenko from Brentford. So for instance, who is also to being chased by Liverpool, etc. Again, for instance, I woke up this morning, etc. I was still cold. I'm sorry. So I'm frustrated. I am. I was hoping for a nice day, etc. For a nice game. We've got to go to Fulham next week, so it's going to be tough. And then the Black Cats, who came back from 2-0 down to win. Fulham won 2-0, 2-1, 2-0 up after at Spurs. For instance, at Spurs. So that's not going to be an easy game. But we're back into winning ways. We've got to be pleased with that. We're back. So disappointed. Just tell them I did. Let's have a quick look just with the last minute or so, and then I'm just going to talk about the ladies. An international rundown from the ladies, because Lauren Hemp came on as England thrashed China 8-0. For instance, so she came on and scored. Laura Bingham Brown and Grace Clinton on new subs. Also, Taylor Harlan came on from Republic of Ireland to play in the last 6 minutes of stoppage time, helping her nation to a 3-2 victory over Hungary. In the early hours, Jade Rose played 32 minutes for Canada as they brushed aside Japan by 3-0. Rebecca Ganap played the 90 minutes for Spain and the UEFA Nations League. Further, Ima Bini played 93 minutes in the nation, who fell 2-1 to defeat Belgium, and Kieran Casper to play the entire game to help Dutch win 2-1 over Portugal. Gracie Bayer helped England's under-23s 1-0 victory over Norway at the Joe Stadium. And Liverpool was an unused job against Laura was 1-0 against draw against Finland. For Cummings also a unused job against Scotland, and a 1-1 friendly against so the ladies are doing okay. Hopefully you come back, no injuries. Anyway, so we got to look on the bright side. Okay, we're back into winning ways. There's a lot to do, and we are a team in progress, but we're also a team winning as well. So so we've got to look at the pluses, but there is issues, and so we've got to look ahead towards Fulham. So I'll be back tomorrow with the player ratings, and for instance, I do it every day for about 20 minutes each day. So I hope you can join me and like and subscribe. Tell me what you're thinking, what's on your mind, and so I'm just in my dungeon at the moment, because if nobody know me, I'm in Thailand, etc., and a lot of noise going on around. Anyway, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Tube Blue Time from Thailand. Like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.